In today's RGN Interviews in Lockdown, I'm speaking once again with Sama Resources President and CEO Marc-Antoine Audet. The last time we spoke, Sama was continuing to explore at depth at the Sama-Pleur nickel copper project located in Côte d'Ivoire. So firstly, what new conclusions did Sama draw from its drilling program last year?
Well, first we drilled the first half of 2020, and we drilled up to June, and then we had to stop due to the COVID, unfortunately. So we had a gap of about I would say 5 months where no activities we were not able to do anything actually. We resumed activity in November 2020. And then we did downhole geophysics in the holes that we have drilled in the first part of 2020. We intersected very interesting mineralization. We have not touched yet the mother lode that we are looking at, but that's okay. I mean, we are in a long process of exploring on that property. It's a new discovery, and obviously it takes a little bit of time and also determination, which we have. So we did the downhole geophysics using the Typhoon equipment owned by HPX. It's a very powerful EM tools that allow us to see much at depth, but also to be used for the downhole geophysics survey, the one that we did. And the result of that was extremely good. And we intersected, or we defined the highest anomaly, EM anomaly, that we had since we started exploring on that part of the world. We intersected extremely high intensity, which we call conductivity thickness, to some of the holes that we drilled. And the anomaly are off of these holes. So this is what we are now chasing with the 5,500 meter drilling program that started just 3 weeks ago. And we are building platform. We are setting everything up for the deep hole, chasing these high intensity target that we defined from the downhole geophysics we did in November, based on the borehole that we drilled early on 2020. So we're very happy with this. Our partner, HPX, which is funding all the exploration, is very happy with this as well. And we are currently drilling with 2 rigs, and we have a 5,500 meters program for the first 6 months of the program. So it's going good, we're happy, and obviously we're gonna follow all of this with additional downhole geophysics and follow up with our plan exploration.
Yeah, and you mentioned the partnership with HPX TechCo, a company that Robert Friedland is involved in.
Yeah.
Can you give further details on that earn-in and JV agreement that's in place there? And also Sama's equity position in another company called SRG Mining.
Yeah, for sure. The arrangement that we have with HPX is that HPX is committed to spend $30 million in exploration for the project in Côte d'Ivoire. This involvement was in 2 phases. The first phase was to spend $12.2 million as equity in Sama Resources. So that was 25 million shares to start with in 2018, and they exercised the warrants that was associated with these shares a year and a half ago. And now they are fully vested in Sama Resources, the top co in Canada. So $12.2 million in the top co out of the $30 million, it's already done. And that gave them 23% of Sama Resources, the Canadian company. Now the remaining $18 million, or more or less, will be spent at the project site in Côte d'Ivoire. So there's no more dilution in the top co of Sama Resources, but it's inside the subsidiaries that we have in Côte d'Ivoire, Sama Nickel Corporation, and that's where they are going to spend the next $18 million. So right now, out of that $18 million, there will be $1 million invested in the next, 5-6 months now, and more to come. It's on a cash call basis. And one of the particularities of the deal that we have with HPX is while they are investing in Sama Nickel Corporation in Côte d'Ivoire, they are the only one that can really invest in the company until they reach the $30 million. So we said, okay, that's fine. And this is why Sama Resources, the top co, we also expanding, looking at other projects also in Liberia and also in Canada. So we are expanding our activities a little bit outside of Côte d'Ivoire, but Côte d'Ivoire remaining our absolute top priority project.
And so can we learn a little bit more about those newer projects that you're investing in?
Well, we decided to look at the potential in nearby country called Liberia. We have the border, Côte d'Ivoire have a border with Liberia, so it's fairly easy for us to be involved there. And we just acquired 3 new exploration licenses in Liberia. We just got them actually in January this year. So these projects are gold mineralization, but also for base metal mineralization. We believe that there's potential for nickel, copper, as well as for gold. And it's a kind of added activities to our portfolio, and we believe that Liberia, it's one of the places to be for sure at the moment.
Yeah, and going back to the Sama Pleur project, last year the PEA was completed.
Yep.
And in it, you worked closely with technology provider CVMR. So I'm wondering, are you still working closely with them? And what other companies are you working with in terms of those who are providing important services or components to the project?
Currently, the pre-feasibility, the scoping pre-feasibility study is completed, and we are actually waiting for additional funding on that specific aspect of the project from our partner HPX. So at the moment we decide to give a little break to this project because we are focusing at finding additional mineralization at depth following the high intensity and high potential target that we have defined. We really look for high grade massive sulphides, high grade nickel, high grade copper and PGMs, which we know it should be there because we do have them near surface, and the model would like that we should have pods and accumulation at depth of these type of mineralization based on what we see near surface. So we decide that for the next 6 months we're going to focus on that, and then we're going to reassess for the rest.
Okay, so looking a little bit forward then to when you get to that point, to what extent do the broader market pricing trends impact your project planning? We're talking about copper and nickel here, where obviously the prices have rocketed in the past year based on increasing demand projections.
Yeah, we're definitely aware of this, and we definitely want to take advantage of that situation in order to speed up the process of exploring and speed up the discovery rate that we think we should have with this great project. So this is something we have in mind, and we definitely want to keep track with that for sure. And HPX is well aware of this as well. And it's also the intention to obviously try to give more good news to the market and to take advantage of this the situation.
Yeah. Okay, now switching lanes to focus more on SAMA's responsibilities in Côte d'Ivoire.
Mm-hmm.
Important is it to focus on environmental, social, and governance issues while developing a mineral deposit in this jurisdiction?
Yep. Yeah, this is definitely our goal, and it always been or the way we worked. This is something that was really entrenched in our gene, if you want, for as a exploration company. You are aware that I'm coming from a Canadian company called Falconbridge, and very proud of that. And Falconbridge was a great example of working with the communities, being really with them and listening, and also communicating with every stakeholder of a project like the one we have right now. So this is something we do so naturally, and I have to say we enjoyed a very good relation with everybody, the government, the local people, and our employees in Côte d'Ivoire. You know, we have no expatriates in Côte d'Ivoire. All the project is run with local Ivorian geologists, environmentalists, accounting. Everybody is Ivorian. So it's very important, and we give them lots of responsibilities. They have quite a high range of responsibility, and they take decision. So I think we enjoyed this very good relationship, and our people are very stimulated by the way we are operating in Côte d'Ivoire.
And what can you say about your Ivorian team? It seems like they're all highly skilled and highly capable people who are, highly involved in the mining industry.
It is. If I take the example of our country manager, Mr. Bakayoko Bouake, I've been working with him for the last 25 years. Actually, when I was the director of operation in Falconbridge in Côte d'Ivoire in the 90s, I employed him as a geologist at that time. And during all the time with Falconbridge, we managed to send our Ivorian people, including Bakayoko, to other part of the world to be trained. He had the chance to go in the northern Quebec at the Radland mine. He spent up to 2 years as an expatriate in Brazil when we discovered nickel laterites over there. He also came to New Caledonia with me, working on the French island there, and with the nickel laterite. So we have a very highly skilled team in Côte d'Ivoire, and we also, the other geologists, the younger geologists that we have with us, we trained them. We sent few of them doing training at the University of Franche-Comté with field work in the Pyrenees and all of that. And also one of our geologists, we financed his PhD study with the University of Franche-Comté. And that was a 2.5 years PhD study. And we managed to issue 4 papers out of this PhD study on the description of the Yacouba complex, which is our own discovery. That was never done before. That was never described before. So we really put the very high intensity or lots of energy, if we want, on this, because we strongly believe that this is the key for a good integration in the country.
Definitely. So finally, Marc-Antoine, you mentioned about the next 6 months being a real focus on the exploration at depth.
Yeah.
So if we fast forward to 1 year from now, let's say mid-2022, where do you want the project to be, and where do you want SAMA Resources to be with it?
Well, I would like to, we resume metallurgical testing and going to the next step with our current resources at Saint-Mappleux. Obviously, it's a good resources, and if nickel price keep going the way it's going, that will be definitely viable options for us. And also, we want to have access to additional new discoveries at depth of higher grade material or high nickel massive sulfides intersect that we believe should be there. So we are putting lots of focus for that. And this is the twofold ways for the path forward. Surface mineralization that we have already and new discoveries at depth in order to make a really nice new venture there.
Definitely. Great stuff, Marc-Antoine. Thanks for joining us for this episode of RGN Interviews in Lockdown.
Thank you very much. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Same to you, and take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.